Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Today, Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. It's day 2 for real after the jury selection of the U.S. versus Sean Combs trial. Yesterday, we covered it in great detail. The jury selection in which the juror from the UN made it on, despite his claims to have that his Office of Counterterrorism doesn't work with U.S. law enforcement. It's not credible. But then there were the opening statements, hammering hard. Tenny Garagos did it for the defense, among their 9 lawyers. And she said this is about private personal conduct and that he may be a terrible person, but it's not a federal RICO charge. The government hammered away, saying you're going to hear from Jane, Cassie, Mia. And then the witnesses began. There was first the LAPD officer who went to the 6th floor among the famous kicking incident. And it turns out that he filmed his own version of the security camera footage and preserved it for, he was going to just show his wife, but he preserved it for eternity. Now, the cross-examination of him was done by Brian Steele, who tried to point out various inconsistencies of things that he hadn't put in his written report at the time, but only remembered later while speaking to the prosecutors. It wasn't a bad cross at all. Coming off his young thug work, score 1 for Brian Steele. Now, the next witness was I called him male dancer, but his last name was Philip, not with an S. And this is where it got pretty gruesome. Not gruesome. I mean, yes, gruesome. He was invited up and began to perform. But he stopped being able to perform once he saw the violence, he said. He was a kind of a compelling character in a way. Now, the defense chose to have Xavier Donaldson, who I like and know quite well. I mean, I cover him more than these other lawyers because he's on the CJA panel and represents many criminal defendants here in SDNY as appointed counsel. He's taken a kind of his first line of attack was to try to say that the male escort or exotic dancing firm of Mr. Phillip games SEO, so he must be a fraudster. That's not really going far. He didn't finish his cross, and it's going to begin today. And as we're coming up on the courthouse, you're going to see the madness in front. So we'll see what he does. And today is going to be the day of Cassie Ventura. So this is a longer than normal intro, but it's a case that we're covering in great detail. Now, we're also covering the crypto beat, among many others. And yesterday there was a development. Ever since this Todd Blanche memo in April, crypto prosecutions have been, and both civil by the SEC and criminal, have been dropping like flies. Now, in the case of the Peraire-Bueno brothers, who found a flaw in Ethereum and took some $25 million, they've ended up quietly dropping count 4 based on they said without commenting on the applicability of the Blanche memo, we are dropping count 4. And so it goes. These cases are dropping like flies. We also cover the United Nations, whose Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, while banning Inner City Press from entering the building for having outed his finances and not listing his Chinese government connections, he's crying poor, UN 80, and he's also now talking up peacekeeping. He's talking up peacekeeping, even though the peacekeepers not only they might mean well, but under UN management, they've failed at almost every place they've been deployed, and the worst thing is they commit sexual abuse of worse even than what we heard yesterday in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. But that's for another day. We're going in, Inner City Press.